Hello, and welcome back to our podcast series on the first days of school by Harry Wong. Today we're stepping into Unit B, which focuses on one of the most powerful forces in education, positive expectations. Now, let me tell you this, your students will either rise or fall to the level of expectations you set for them. And Unit B gives us the blueprint for creating a classroom culture where every student believes they can succeed. So this new teacher cohort podcast series is very, very important, not just for me as a mentor and local reading specialist, but just as an educator, because I think that all of these components in this book are very, very important. So today, our chapter outcomes are Chapter 6, Why Positive Expectations Are Important. Chapter 7, How to Help All Students Succeed. Chapter 8, How to Dress for Success. And Chapter 9, How to Invite Students to Learn. Just like Unit A and Unit C, this unit is heavy. Unit B is very heavy because it builds the foundation for building that student and the climate within your classroom. So you hear a little bit of paper rattling, and that is because I am opening my book and getting it ready to, of course, travel along while we are discussing some things within each chapter. All right, Chapter 6, Why Positive Expectations Are Important. Student success is limited only by the expectations teachers have of them. Y'all. Harry Wong tells us that our expectations for students directly influence their achievements, not just in school, but in life. Think about it. If we walk into classes thinking, these kids don't care, or they can't do it, our students will live down to those beliefs. But if we communicate, I know you can learn, I believe in you, and I'm here to help you succeed, students often rise higher than we could have imagined. I bet every one of you can remember a teacher who believed in you before you believed in yourself. That's the kind of teacher Unit B pushes us to be. Now, if you don't have your book in front of you, that's fine. Jot down a couple of these page numbers that I'm going to call out, because as I was going through Unit B in Chapter 6, this is what caught my eye and stood out to me. On page 48 through 50, I highlighted on page 48 in the middle of the page, the expectations you have for your students significantly influence what they are capable of achieving in class and in life. And that is absolutely true. On page 48, that first paragraph really stood out to me, talking about the negative expectations and how we can perceive things, and the expectations that we have on our students and how powerful those can be. Because believe it or not, students look up to us. So how you see them, how you believe in them, it matters. Also on page 49, I highlighted the two kinds of expectations. Of course, you have your positive or high expectations and your negative or low expectations. On page 50, there's a chart with the negative expectations and positive expectations that I highly recommend you look at and highlight, so that you can make sure that, of course, you are on that right side, which is the positive or high expectations. Because as being an effective teacher, we don't want those negative or low expectations. Okay. And at the very bottom of page 50, it says it takes just as much energy to achieve positive results as it does to ensure negative results. Okay, and that is absolutely true. Throughout this chapter 6, there are plenty of scan codes that you can scan to get some deeper details and examples. Okay, and I would highly suggest that you scan those just whenever you have time to do that. All right, chapter 7, how to help all students succeed. Woohoo! All students. That's a heavy one. All students. An intentional inviting teacher is an inviting in an inviting classroom gives students a sense of purpose and importance. I told you guys, students really look up to us as teachers, and so our expectations are not just for us; it's for them. Like they really pay attention to that, and they believe in it. Okay. So in chapter 7, Wong reminds us that success in school isn't just about what happens in the classroom. It's about creating a partnership between school and family. The more we work together with parents and guardians, I hope you're remembering that conversation that we had about classroom community, right? The stronger the foundation we give our students. Y'all, that is classroom community wrapped up in one. Yep. Yep, classroom communities right there. This starts on the very first day of school, right? Just like we talked about, classroom community starting actually before the first day of school with communicating with parents. Giving them your email. Telling them all the things that before school and when school starts, right? Students should walk in feeling like this is a place where they are wanted, where they are safe, and where they will succeed. Y'all, sometimes these kids, they go home and we don't know what they're going home to. And so being that light, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, being that smile, and being that hug, being that big piece of love that they need sometimes is a make or break for kids. Yep. Something as simple as greeting students. I'm remembering that conversation too about standing in the hallway, right? Right? And greeting our students, having that smile on your face, being able to see if they're having a bad day, good day, just from walking down the hall, right? So, something as simple as greeting students at the door with a smile and a welcome sets the tone. When kids feel seen and valued, they are more likely to thrive. Y'all, let me repeat that. When kids feel seen and valued, they are more likely to thrive. When I was in the classroom, I had a very structured classroom, but respect went both ways. Yep. So I respected the students and they respected me. Remember, we're not too old to give respect, right? Every student needs to feel respected. They need to feel seen. They need to feel valued. And it's okay. It is okay to respect your students. Ask them their opinion sometimes. Are we always going to give, especially at our primary level, the choice or opinion to do certain things? No, but sometimes we can once we have established those routines and procedures. Yes. All right, diving into our book on page 58 through 59. So, page 58, I highlighted effective teachers have the power and the ability to invite students and colleagues to learn together. Let me ask you a really important question. Can we learn from kids? Yeah. I do. I learn from children all the time, all the time. Can we learn from other colleagues? Yes, yes. I'm also remembering a conversation that we had on one of our earlier podcast episodes about learning from your colleagues, beg, borrow, steal. Yes. Traveling over to page 58, middle of the page, I highlighted the 5 P's of invitational education. I'm sorry, I was reading through. Um, I highlighted the 5 P's of invitational education. Okay. And in the middle, the basis of being inviting is being intentional. You really, really have to be intentional sometimes with being inviting. Okay. Putting your biases to the side. And knowing that sometimes it's not the child's fault. Yep. So really digging deep. And finding that smile, finding that positive, so that you can then shine those and highlight those positive expectations that we're trying to um, give, show, and get from students, right? Yes. Okay, moving on. Page 61 through 62. On page 61, it gives us the are you inviting or are you disinviting? These are very, very important charts that I would definitely tab and highlight so that you can reflect, do a little self reflection to, to see, am I an inviting teacher? Am I a disinviting teacher? If your reflection falls on the I'm a disinviting teacher, come on and talk to me. Come on and talk to me so that we can make a few adjustments and become more inviting. Because, like I said, sometimes with the children that we are getting, the children that we have, we are we are it. We are that positive. We are that sunshine. We are that ball of hugs and love. Okay. So, with that being said, we do have to be inviting and we have to be that light for all students, right? Page 62, I did highlight middle of the page. Students can refuse words, but they won't refuse an invitational attitude. Yes, yes. You can be structured. You can have good classroom management. You can have all the rules and procedures and the routines and and still be inviting. You can be light. You can be humorous. You can show love. Yes, we can. Give your students more than they expect, and you will get back more than you ever expected. Harry Wong is dropping some knowledge on all of us, right? Yep. Turning over to page 66. The 4 levels of invitational expectations. Here's a chart, middle of the page. Go ahead and star that, tab it up. Down below, it will go into details 1, 2 on page 67, 3, 4 about those invitational educations and the uninvitationally in disinviting expectations. Okay, that was a mouthful. All right, chapter 7 was heavy because there is some reflection going on in there. And I really do want you to reflect. Go back to page 61 and reflect on, am I inviting? Am I disinviting? Do I have high expectations? Do I have low expectations? Am I the light that students see? Am I the light that students need? Reflect. And then come talk to me, right? Yes. All right. Moving on. Chapter 8. How to invite students to learn. Woohoo. I'm a teacher, right? I'm here. I am here. This is what I'm doing. I am teaching them every single day. Yeah, you are. You're teaching them, but are you inviting them to learn? Because that's completely different. That's a completely different thing, right? Nope, nope, nope. Back up, Rose. Chapter 8 is how to dress for success. I'm getting ahead of myself. How to dress for success. The effective teacher dresses professionally to model success. Professionalism at its best, right? Have you ever heard the saying, when you dress up, when you dress nice, you feel better about yourself? You do better? Uh huh. It changes your attitude. Yes. Uh huh. This one might just sting just a little, but Harry Wong is very clear. You are treated as you are dressed. And that is, again, absolutely true because Harry Wong is speaking truth in this book. As teachers, we are walking and talking advertisements for success. Students look up to us. Those are just facts, right? The way we present ourselves tells students, parents, and colleagues how seriously we take our role. Does it mean that we need to wear a suit every day? Nope. Does it mean that we dress professionally and modeling what it looks like to take pride in our work? Yes. Yes, it does. hmm Our principal has made it very clear of how she would like to see us every single day coming to school. Did she say that we had to wear a suit and tie or stockings and a church, dress suit? No, no, but we do need to look professional and take pride in our job and um, what we do. Like I said, students look up to us and they want to see us in a professional light. Our parents want to see us being professionals. So dressing the part is part of being professional, right? Yes. Looking our best is part of being professional. Yes. Okay. On page 70, I did highlight you do not get a second chance to make a first impression. So when those parents are coming in on that first night of school, we were all dressed to impress. Everybody looked so very nice. Do we continue to do that? Yes. I have been around. I see everybody almost every day. We all look so nice, and we, for the most part, dress very professionally on a daily basis. So continue to do that because I know as the year goes on, it does get hard to get up, put on the makeup, put on the dresses and the slacks and the polo shirts. It gets hard, but it is part of our job. It's part of being professional. It's part of that's just part of it. Looking your best, right? Yes, because we are examples to our students, and when we are presenting ourselves to parents and other colleagues, whether it's at our school or other schools, we want to look as a professional, right? Yeah. All right. On page 71, I did highlight the paragraph. You are a walking and talking advertisement. You can read through that whenever you have a chance. And on page 73, appropriate and professional, I read through that, highlighted some things. I'm curious to see exactly what you think about this chapter and this paragraph, really, and what you've highlighted. And on page 74, I did highlight some of the things in dress for respect. That's a big one. Read through that because that's heavy. On page 75, I did highlight as a professional educator, you should be dressed to achieve four main effects: respect, credibility, acceptance, and authority. Read through that whenever you get a chance. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Now let's move on. Now I can move on to Chapter 9, How to Invite Students to Learn. Now we're here. How to invite them to learn. Like I said, I'm a teacher. I come to school. I teach the kids. That's my job. Yes, you do, but are you inviting the students to learn? That's completely different than just teaching, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Harry Wong dives deep into how to invite students to learn. Here's a powerful idea. Classrooms should be an inviting place. Not just physically inviting with posters and decorations, but emotionally and relationally inviting. So, that classroom community, building those relationships, you need to have those. That's an inviting classroom. Emotionally, do students feel safe? Uh huh. Yes, that's an inviting classroom. Is your classroom a sensory overload to students? That could be a disinviting classroom to some. So make sure that you're paying attention to what all you have going on in your room, right? Yes. Um, Things on the wall, are they meaningful or are they just cute and fluff? Cute and fluff is okay, but cute and fluff needs to be mixed with meaningful. Or cute and fluff has to be meaningful as well, right? Yes. It can't just be the cute and fluff. We got to have some meaningful things on the wall as well. Um, a rule of thumb is, and I think we hit on this in our earlier episode, you can have the cute and fluff, but it needs to be meaningful. The things on the wall need everything in your classroom has to have a purpose. You need to be able to use it. So those cute posters on the wall, are you using those or are they just there? So kind of do some self-reflection and think about your room, how it's set up, the things on the wall. Okay. Am I using all of these things? Are they useful? All right. Greeting students warmly, making classrooms a safe space to take risks, and building strong relationships with both students and families are important factors in having an inviting classroom for students to learn. Mr. Wong talks about the concepts of invitational education, deliberately sending the message, you are important. You are valuable. And you belong here. Imagine the difference when a student hears that message every day versus the opposite. Ooh, you guys, I just got chills. Being the light, and I keep saying this, but being the light for students sometimes is the only light that they have. We as educators, we as professionals, we as teachers cannot talk down to these students. We have to speak life into them. We have to be the positive reason, the positive being, the positive vibe, the positive person that they see and witness on a daily basis. Are we going to have those days where we're just like, oh my goodness, I'm so tired. Oh my goodness, you keep doing the same thing that I told you not to do. Yes. Yes, we are going to have those days, but they should be short and few and in between, right? We have to be able to have composure. We have to be able um, to know that some kids have different, they go home to different way of living, right? So have patience with them, have grace, smile, smile when you feel anxious, smile when you feel irritated and frustrated. Just smile, smile, pat them on their little shoulder, and have them have a little seat. The big picture, be a smile, be positive, right? Yes. Finally, Wong reminds us that the heart of education is the education of the heart, right? You have to have a heart for it. Students need connection. They need role models. They need teachers who notice them, call them by name, and show them they matter. It is important that students feel that they matter in your classroom. It's important that all students know that they matter to you, that you see them, that you know that Johnny likes Appleseed. I'm sorry, that Johnny likes Spider Man, but Clyde over here. Now, Clyde, he is a Batman fan. And you know that about them because you've built a classroom community and you have gotten to know little bits and pieces of your students and about your students, right? hmm Something as small as saying please and thank you, offering a smile, or taking time to pronounce a student's name correctly communicates respect. Again, you can respect the students and they respect you. Just because they are 5 and 6 or 7 and 8 doesn't mean that you cannot respect them. You can say please and thank you to students. You can call them ma'am and sir. It's okay. Yes, yes. Teaching them respect, showing them respect. We model. We model on a daily basis at a primary level. Modeling respect is very important, and that's building the culture and climate in your classroom. A respect leads to positive behavior. Yes. At the end of the day, discipline issues often shrink when relationships grow. Let me reread that one more time. At the end of the day, discipline issues often shrink when relationships grow. Because Clyde, he's looking at me like, does this lady even know me? Johnny is thinking to himself, she doesn't care about me until I show them, Clyde, yes, I do know you because I know you like Batman. I've talked to your mama and she told me da 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 da. Johnny, you do matter. You do matter because guess what, Johnny? Johnny, I know that yesterday you played da 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 and you hit da 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 da, right? Know little bits and pieces about your kids. It will go a long way. And when they see that you know them on a personal level, that you care about them, that they matter to you, that you respect them, in turn, they will respect you. And the positivity in the classroom will grow. The positive expectations, positive expectations will grow, right? Yes. All right, chapter 9. Page 80 through 82 is what I wrote down to talk about. And on page 80, I did highlight the effective teachers are kind, caring, and loving people, and that is true. Like I said, does it mean that you don't get frustrated sometimes? No, no. We all get frustrated. Does it mean that you're not going to have to be stern sometimes? You are. And you're going to have to say what you mean and mean what you say, right? Yes. But that also comes with students knowing that, you know what, Miss Rose, she says this and she means this, but she also loves me because I've showed them that I love them. I've shown them that they matter to me. But I've also shown them that, you know what, there's one teacher in the classroom and you will listen to me. Respect, structure, routines, procedures, they all go hand in hand, right? Yes. Okay. Moving on. Page 81. Under connections, not relationships, I did highlight. If you want respect, cooperation, and engagement, cultivate connections, not cultivate. I'm sorry, cultivate. Miss Rose cannot talk. Cultivate connections, not relationships. Connect with the students. Make sure they know that you know who they are, right? Yes. Page 82, that box at the very bottom, 5 significant concepts. Name, please, thank you, smile, love, right? It seems simple, but they are very important. Don't leave those steps out, right? Yes. Okay, guys. Homework. Y'all, please, 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 please know that I am doing this because, one, I respect you as an educator, and two, I love y'all. I do. Y'all are wonderful, right? Yes, yes. Your homework, you got to do that KWL. Tell me what you know. Tell me what you want to know. And tell me what you've learned. I love reading these and seeing exactly what's going through your mind as an educator. And it gives me insight on what to talk about next on the next episode that we'll be doing, all right? Your KWL chart is due by September the 26th, okay? Classroom community, what are your likes and dislikes of the students in your classroom? Find out who they are, what they like, what they dislike. All right, that's that classroom community. Connect with your students, right? Inviting classrooms. Is your classroom meaningful and inviting for students? Look around your room. Check out those posters and all of the fluff and buff in your rooms. Is it meaningful or is it just stuff? Right? Is it overstimulating? Is it inviting? Is it disinviting? Do some reflections. Write it on the KWL. No, I am silly at this point of the podcast because we all have things going on. We're all adults and we all have all the things. So my daughter has been sick and I had planned to record this podcast. I had everything ready. I had all my notes planned. I had all my highlights, all my tabs, had everything ready. And my daughter gets sick. And so on Friday, I had to miss the day. And of course, as I've told you, family first. Being a mama is my priority. And it's something that I take pride in. And so when my baby is sick, I had to take care of her. So this podcast got, of course, put to the side for a couple of days. But nevertheless, I'm staying up late on one of my nights and recording this podcast because I cannot tell you to be prepared and to have things turned in a timely manner, and I not do the same, right? Yes. My baby is doing fine though. She's fine. She's recovering. And so I'm able to just take some time to catch up on some of the work that I've missed and make sure that it's in on time for you guys because that is also important to me. Making sure that you guys have what you need because I am a resource to you is a priority as well. So while I'm at work and you guys are a priority. And when I'm at home and my family is a priority. It's called balance, right? And in our next episodes, we'll be talking about balance. I love how this all connects. All right, our takeaways. We're going to put this all together from Unit B as effective teachers, right? Believe in every child's ability to succeed. Communicate those expectations daily through words and actions. Dress and act in ways that model pride and professionalism. Create classrooms that invite students in and build relationships. And finally, they nurture the heart as much as the mind. That wraps up Unit B as an effective teacher, okay? Remember, guys, I am here for you. I am a resource for you. This is part of one of the resources that I am giving you this year as the New Teacher Cohort podcast. It's this book study. So please take the information that I'm giving you, some Some of you don't need all of it. Some of you, um, this is just a refresher and a reminder. Nevertheless, this is a resource for you, and I am a resource for you. So please, please, please ask me the questions. Come get me if you need me. I do not mind the emails. I don't mind the text messages. I don't mind the phone calls. Okay. All right. You got this. The next time that we talk, I might just do a refresher on classroom management since it is so, so early in the year. So don't be surprised if I'm like, hey, got a mini episode for you, because I do like to do those in between these long units, because these are some heavy, heavy things that we're talking about. And your rules and procedures, classroom management can be worked on throughout the year, and it should be worked on throughout the year. Again, I'm proud of you. I am excited to see your growth as a professional, as an educator, okay? I'm here if you need me. Let me know. All right, guys. Homework is due September 6th with your KWL. I can't wait to read them. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful month of September. Okay. I'm here if you need me.